I think we got him through this term. We would always show shots of him jogging, him in aviator shades, and like you paint him as a young geriatric. We were creating a story there that we didn't know anything about. You know, we were. So that's I think that's propaganda. I think what we did, we got Trump out. I am 100% going to say it, and I 100% believe it, that if it wasn't for CNN, I don't know that Trump would have got voted out. Our focus was to get Trump out of office, right? Without saying it, that's what it was, right? So our next thing is going to be for climate change awareness.
Do you think it's going to be just like a lot of like fear, like climate?
Yeah, fear sells. Fear sells. No one ever says those things out loud, but it's obvious.
And what is it you do?
Technical director. It's one step down from director. It's going to be our focus. Our focus was to get Trump out of office. Without saying it, that's what it was. Trump was hand was shaking or whatever, and he was losing it. He's unfit. We were creating a story there. So that's I think that's propaganda.
So I'm standing here at 30 Hudson Yards. Warner Media is in right there. That's CNN's corporate headquarters. We're in New York City. Jim Sciutto just walked out. Funny enough, I asked him about the videos we have just obtained of a CNN director, Charlie Chester, on tape. For years, we've heard that CNN is the most trusted name in news, but a CNN director is on tape telling us that they're propaganda, helping a certain political candidate, employees admitting what we've always known to be true. This time, it's on tape.
I think what we did, we got Trump out. I am 100% going to say it, and I 100% believe it, that if it wasn't for CNN, I don't know that Trump would have got voted out. I really don't think so.
Oh, really? I think if COVID hadn't happened, it wouldn't have mattered what covered, and Trump would still be in office.
I came to CNN because I wanted to be a part of that.
So Chester says that CNN is responsible for getting Trump out of office and helping Biden through his term. Listen to this tape. Chester and Hoffman believe CNN managed to get Trump out of office, their words, and Chester calls CNN propaganda.
Yeah, I mean, like Trump, we did it. Like when Trump was, I don't know, like his hand was shaking or whatever. We brought in like so many medical people to like all tell a story that like it was all speculation. That he was like neurological damage, like that he was losing it. He's unfit to, you know, whatever. We were creating a story there that we didn't know anything about. You know, we were. So that's I think that's propaganda. You know, we had nothing else to run with at that time. We were like just taking shots off the bow, just hoping something would hit. You know.
I guess I have a confession. I worry about Biden and his health, I guess.
Your news health?
What? I said Biden, our president. Like I want to just like literally, I just want to like take care of him and make sure he's okay. Like
he's definitely the whole thing of him running during the entire like run for the campaign, showing him jogging was obviously a deflection of his age, and they're trying to make it like I'm healthy.
Is that what we did? I don't know. Like, what do you mean?
We would always show shots of him jogging, and that I'm healthy, you know, blah blah blah, and him in aviator shades, and like you paint him as a young geriatric. I like so many arguments about like my dad be like, you're voting in Kamala Harris because he's gonna die in the presidency, and I'm like, that could die.
Right, I don't think it's
But I'm okay with that.
Right.
I'm okay with that. I think she could be
probably be better, but
she probably could be a bitch in like a board meeting, and you'd hate her as a boss, but she's real and better than what we've had, regardless. I don't see. I think we got him through this term.
Even after Biden was sworn in, CNN still seemed to maintain a bias in the reporting, according to Chester.
And then so there are complaints that like we're not covering that Biden tripped up the stairs.
Oh, did you?
Like we talked about it briefly, but
you talk about that briefly. You don't make that a huge
okay. So, but
story.
the fact that we talk about the Trump tripping is a bigger nuance. It's a nuanced conversation because that's a sign
Did we harp on Trump tripping? I think we talked about it a little bit. As long as we talk about it a little bit with Biden, then I think we're
But like we didn't cover it at all on Dawn. Like we didn't talk about it. Whereas if it had been Trump tripping up the stairs.
Chester didn't just take credit for Trump's loss. He also alleges it was CNN's, quote, focus. They were focused on getting Trump out of office. Chester also believes that in the current news cycle, there is, quote, COVID fatigue. Chester saying that CNN has a game plan to fix that fatigue.
I think there's just like a COVID fatigue. So like whenever a new story comes up, they're going to latch onto it. They've already announced in our office that once the public will be open to it, we're going to start focusing mainly on climate, climate like global warming, and like that's going to be our next like I don't know, like what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to be our focus. Like our focus was to get Trump out of office, right? Without saying it, that's what it was, right? So our next thing is going to be for climate change awareness.
What does that look like?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I have a feeling it's just going to be like constantly showing videos of like decline in ice and weather warming up and like the effects it's having on the economy and really
Who
talking
decides that?
the head of the network, like just
Who's that? Is that Zucker?
Zucker, yeah. I imagine that he's got his council and they've all like discussed like where they think
So that's like the next.
pandemic like story like that will beat to death. But that one's got longevity. You know what I mean? It's not like there's a definitive ending to the pandemic, or like it'll taper off to a point that it's not a problem anymore. I think it's going to take years, so they'll probably be able to milk that for quite a bit.
So climate change overload. Prepare.
Be prepared. It's coming. Stories like right now, we had an inside track right now where 2 stories are going to be pushed. Climate change is going to be the next COVID thing for CNN. We're gonna hone it.
Focus on that.
I love it.
But that's a fair thing to focus on.
But to commit to that as a network,
You said it's going to be like the new COVID.
I feel like that's the way it was built. Unless that was just a call to arms to get people to start writing and then we'll assess it. I don't know, but
Do you think it's going to be just like a lot of like fear, like climate?
yeah, fear sells.
Jeff Zucker, I think you need to change your motto, the most trusted name in news. Your own employees, your own director is on tape actually telling the American people what we all believe to be true. The question is,
Our focus was to get Trump out of office, right? Without saying it, that's what it was.
why isn't Charlie Chester willing to say the private part publicly? He'll say it privately, but he insists it's important to conceal it, to hide it from people. And that's the question, Mr. Zucker. Why is it so important to hide the truth of what you're really trying to do from the people?